So Grow a Garden 2 has only been out for about 5 days. 5 days. And somehow, people are already saying the game could have a major problem on its hands. Now, before anyone gets mad, I'm not saying the game is dead. In fact, the launch has been incredible. The player count has been huge, people are having fun, and the game has been growing insanely fast. But there's one thing that's starting to worry a lot of players: hackers. And if this problem isn't controlled early, it could seriously hurt the future of the game. Let's talk about what's been happening. Ever since launch, players have been posting screenshots and videos showing accounts with ridiculous amounts of rare items. And I'm not talking about players who got lucky. I'm talking about players with inventories that just don't make sense. One of the biggest examples people keep talking about is Dragon's Breath. If you've played Grow a Garden 2, then you know how valuable that seed is supposed to be. It's one of the most wanted items in the entire game. Most players would be excited just to get one. Maybe even a few. But somehow there are accounts showing huge stacks of them. And that's where people start asking questions, because the game is only 5 days old. How are some players getting so many of the rarest items in such a short amount of time? Now, of course, there are always going to be players who grind non-stop. There are always players who get lucky. But when you start seeing inventories filled with rare items and rare pets, people naturally become suspicious. And honestly, I understand why. One of the things that makes games like this fun is the progression. You start small, you build up your garden, you collect better seeds, you unlock better pets, and over time, you slowly improve your account. That's the whole point. The journey is what makes getting rare items feel rewarding. But if hackers can skip that entire process, it creates a huge problem. Because suddenly the rare items don't feel as special anymore. Imagine spending hours trying to get something rare, then you see another player with hundreds of them. Whether they're hacking or not, it immediately makes you wonder if your effort is worth it. And that's a dangerous mindset for any game. The biggest concern isn't actually what hackers are doing right now. The biggest concern is what could happen if it keeps getting worse. Remember, the game is only 5 days old. It's still brand new. This is supposed to be the period where players are discovering things, grinding and building up their accounts. If exploits are already spreading this early, imagine what things could look like a month from now. Imagine what things could look like 6 months from now. That's why some players are worried. They're not looking at today's problem. They're looking at where the problem could lead. Another thing people are talking about is rare pets. Some players are showing off collections that seem almost impossible for a brand new game. Again, maybe some of them are legitimate. Maybe some players have gotten extremely lucky. But when enough suspicious accounts start appearing, people begin to lose trust. And trust is incredibly important. Players need to believe that the game is fair. They need to believe that everyone is playing by the same rules. Because the moment players feel like cheaters are getting ahead, frustration starts growing. Now here's the good news. The game is still very young. 5 days is nothing. The developers have plenty of time to fix problems before they become permanent. In fact, this is probably the best time for these issues to be discovered. It's much easier to deal with exploits now than it would be after months of damage. That's why I don't think Grow a Garden 2 is doomed. Not even close. I think the game has massive potential. But I also think the developers need to take these reports seriously, because successful games don't stay successful by ignoring problems. They stay successful by fixing them early. And honestly, that's what I'm hoping happens here. The game has too much potential to let hackers ruin it. Players want to grind. Players want to earn rare items. Players want that feeling of finally unlocking something valuable. That's what keeps people coming back. That's what keeps games alive. If everything becomes easy to exploit, that feeling disappears. And when that feeling disappears, players eventually leave. So right now, Grow a Garden 2 is at an important moment. The launch has been great. The community is growing. The game is everywhere. But the next few weeks are going to matter a lot. How the developers respond to hackers and exploits could shape the future of the game. Maybe the problem gets fixed quickly. Maybe stronger anti-cheat systems get added. Maybe exploited items get removed. If that happens, the game could continue growing for a very long time. But if hackers keep getting access to massive amounts of rare pets and Dragon's Breath seeds, the situation could become much bigger than it is today. And that's why so many players are paying attention right now. Not because the game is failing, but because they want to make sure it succeeds. They want Grow a Garden 2 to have a long future. They want rare items to stay rare. And they want the game to stay fair for everyone. So what do you think? Are hackers becoming a serious issue in Grow a Garden 2? Or do you think people are overreacting after only 5 days? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Grow a Garden 2 videos.